This is Hans Sloane, Anglo-Irish, Scottish, Protestant, descendant referred to as the founding father of the natural history in British museums. Family middle class serving the aristocracy. Sir Hans Sloane is presented as hero, pioneer, physician and secretary, then president of Royal Society of Physicians. Studied medicine and botany in London, Paris and Montpellier. At 27, he was appointed physician to the Grosvenor of Jamaica. He married the widow of the previous plantation owner and financially enabled his collections. 71,000 items in his collection accrued through exploitation of African and indigenous people of the Caribbean. By the age of 93, he amassed a collection of 400,000 items as he purchased existing collections. He was very aware of the brutality of enslavement and wrote about the necessity to torture to rebellious, enslaved people in brutal ways. Part of his collection was skin samples of people of different skin pigmentation. Racialized people were treated as specimens and disposable like plants. He spent all his earnings on Peruvian bark, which he sold on return to London for vast profits. It was first appeared in the London Pharmacopoeia in 1677. He provided the grounds for Chelsea Physic Garden, which still exists today, with a gate which opens to the Thames, when ships would come in bringing botanical loot. Sir Isaac Newton described Sloane as a villain, rascal, and very tricky fellow. He is whimsically famous for adding milk to hot chocolate, after apparently observing enslaved people drinking with water. He observed enslaved people's knowledge, food and culture, and used them to draw his illustrations, collect specimens, and observe their own allotted pieces of land on the plantation to grow their own food. When I see the star cocoa specimen at the Natural History Museum, I wonder who grew it, who actually preserved it, what life did they have, what was their name, their real name. In 1955, Amy Césaire wrote, "And what of the museums of which Europe is so proud? It would have been better, all things considered, if it had never been necessary to open them. Better if the Europeans had allowed the civilizations beyond the continent of Europe to live alongside them, dynamic and prosperous, whole and unmutilated. Better if they had not let those civilizations develop and flourish, rather than offering up scattered limbs, duly labelled for us to admire. After all, by itself, the museum is nothing. It can say nothing. Here in the museum, the rapture of self-gratification rots our eyes. Here, a secret contempt of others dried up our hearts. Here, racism, no matter if it is declared or undeclared, drains all empathy away. No, in the scales of knowledge, the mass of all museums in the world could never outweigh a lone spark of human empathy."